The alien girl saw me, turned to her friends and said, "This is my husband." Then she smiled. John Carter had never seen a planet like this before. The sky was soft purple, and three suns made the land glow in warm shades of orange and pink. Small rivers twisted through the green hills, and the trees had leaves that shimmered like glass. The air smelled fresh, like rain mixed with flowers, and John could feel his heart beating faster. He had been to many worlds, but none had made him feel both nervous and amazed at the same time. The alien city rose in the distance, tall and smooth, like it had grown from the ground itself. No one had built it with machines, yet it looked perfectly shaped. The humans who traveled with John whispered among themselves, excited but careful. Captain Claire Brown, who led the expedition, looked serious. She had been on dangerous missions before, but this one felt different. The aliens here were said to be peaceful, but their ways were unknown. John could see the curiosity in his team's eyes. Everyone wondered how they would be received. They approached a large square in the center of the city. Thousands of aliens gathered there, their shapes unfamiliar but gentle. Some had long arms that moved like waves, and others had eyes that shone softly in colors John had never seen. The aliens moved with grace, not speaking loudly but communicating with small gestures and glowing lights. John felt both afraid and fascinated. A young alien girl stepped forward from the crowd. She had pale skin that sparkled under the sunlight, and her hair floated slightly as if it moved on its own. Her eyes were deep blue, and John felt a strange pull when he looked at her. She seemed to study him carefully, tilting her head like she was trying to understand everything about him at once. Then she pointed directly at John. Her friends gasped softly, and the crowd went quiet. She spoke in her language, a soft music of words, and then repeated in perfect common human speech. "This is my husband," she said. John froze. His mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. His mind spun in confusion. Husband, what did she mean? He looked around at the humans standing with him. Captain Brown raised an eyebrow, and Paul Adams, the linguist, shook his head slightly, trying to make sense of it. The girls smiled at John. It was not a shy or timid smile. It was calm, confident, and somehow kind. John felt his face heat up. He had no idea what to say. The aliens around her murmured softly, not in fear but in respect. They bowed slightly to John, and some stepped back as if giving him space. "Is this a joke?" John finally asked. His voice sounded small to him. Lyra, the alien girl, tilted her head and shook it. "Not a joke," she said. "In our culture, I choose a protector. A protector is a husband. You fit the sign from the old stories." "Sign? Stories?" John asked, still confused. He looked at Captain Brown, who whispered, "They must have legends about humans. We need to listen carefully before we assume anything." Paul Adams stepped closer to Lyra. "Can you explain? What does husband mean for your people?" he asked. Lyra's friends nodded, and one of them, taller with silver hair, spoke in the human language. "Our word for husband means protector, not just for love but for life bond. Long ago, your species helped us without asking for reward. Those humans became the first legends. We study your kind and wait for the one who fits the prophecy." John tried to take a deep breath. "Wait, prophecy? You mean I'm supposed to be part of some ancient story?" Lyra smiled again softly. "Yes, you are the one the old story spoke of. We cannot force this, but I choose you." The humans around him exchanged nervous looks. Some felt proud, some worried. Captain Brown stepped forward. "We need to understand your rules before anyone acts," she said firmly. "John is our representative, but we also need your guidance on what this bond means." Lyra nodded. "I can explain, but some things you will only understand by experience. The word husband carries respect, trust, and protection. Those who are chosen must act with heart and courage. You fit these qualities. Your people are known across the stars for bravery. My people waited for you." John's legs felt weak. He had always believed humans were brave, but he had never expected that courage would lead him to be part of an alien legend. He thought of the stories he had heard about humans saving worlds, and suddenly he felt both proud and nervous. Could he really live up to this expectation? One of the aliens stepped forward, a small boy with sparkling eyes. He touched John's hand lightly and smiled. "We believe in humans," he said. "You will see why." John looked at Lyra again. Her gaze was steady, filled with quiet strength. She did not seem afraid of him or the humans. She trusted him already. John realized that she expected him to act, not to refuse. The thought made him uneasy, but also strangely motivated. He turned to Captain Brown. "What should I do?" he asked softly. She put a hand on his shoulder. "Listen, observe, and respect. Nothing is final yet, but remember, humans can show strength in ways no one expects. Just be yourself." Paul Adams whispered, "If what she says is true, we are witnessing history. Lyra has chosen a human. That alone could change how the galaxy sees us." John took a deep breath and nodded. He looked at Lyra and gave a small smile back. "I don't fully understand yet," he said, "but I will try to learn." Lyra's smile widened. "That is all we ask," she said. Her friends nodded, and the crowd slowly relaxed. John noticed that the respect in their eyes was unlike anything he had seen before. Humans were admired, yes, but also feared in many places. Here, he felt a new kind of admiration, one based on trust and hope. The aliens began to guide the humans into the city. John walked beside Lyra, careful not to rush. She showed him the gardens where plants glowed softly at night, the fountains where water floated in the air before falling, and the halls carved from living stone. Everywhere he looked, he felt the weight of the legend on his shoulders. Yet he also felt a strange sense of belonging. As night fell, the city lit up with soft lights that floated like fireflies. John sat with Lyra on a balcony overlooking the rivers. "So this is what the prophecy means?" he asked quietly. Lyra shook her head. "No, prophecy is not just words, it is actions. You will learn through choices. Tonight you are here, and that is the first step." John nodded. He had never felt so uncertain yet so alive. He wondered how humans would react if they knew he had been chosen by an alien girl in a legend that spanned centuries. More importantly, he wondered if he could live up to the trust they had placed in him. The night passed slowly. John could hear the gentle sounds of the city breathing, almost alive. He realized that this world was beautiful, but also fragile. He knew humans had the power to protect, but he also felt the weight of responsibility. Lyra rested her head lightly against his shoulder. "Tomorrow you will see more," she said softly. "My people will show you our lives. We have waited a long time for someone like you." John closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He did not understand everything yet. He did not know if he was ready. But as he felt the warmth of Lyra beside him, he also felt a quiet courage growing inside. He had faced dangers before, but this was different. This was not just about survival. This was about honor, trust, and a bond that could change the galaxy. He opened his eyes and looked at the glowing city below. Humans were often called strong, fierce, and brave. Tonight, he realized that strength also meant respect and understanding. He had a long path ahead, but he would take it one step at a time. He had to, because tomorrow, his journey as the chosen human legend would truly begin. And Lyra's smile stayed with him, a quiet promise that they would face whatever came. Together the morning light came slowly over the shimmering city. John Carter woke early, feeling a mixture of curiosity and unease. Last night's event still felt like a dream. An alien girl had chosen him, called him her husband, and the entire city had treated him with respect he had never imagined. He rubbed his eyes and looked around. Lyra was already awake, sitting quietly by the balcony, watching the rivers glow in the morning sun. "Good morning," John said softly. Lyra turned her head and smiled. "Morning," she said. "Today you will learn more. It is time for you to understand why I chose you." John nodded, trying to prepare himself for the day ahead. He dressed quickly and followed her into the city. The streets were alive with gentle motion. Aliens moved about, tending to glowing plants, floating fountains, and strange markets. Their language was a soft song, and John noticed that their hands moved in careful patterns. Every movement seemed meaningful, like a part of their culture. They arrived at a large hall, open on all sides, with sunlight streaming through translucent walls. Inside, dozens of aliens were gathered. Lyra introduced John to them one by one. He remembered a few names: Sierra, a tall alien with silver hair, and Coro, a young boy with bright eyes. Each of them nodded respectfully to John. He felt nervous but tried to stay calm. Lyra spoke first. "John, our people have watched humans for many cycles. Long ago, humans came to our world and saved our ancestors. They did not ask for reward, only for the life of those in need. Our stories remember them as protectors." John listened carefully. "So humans were heroes to you?" he asked. Sierra nodded. "Yes, your kind is strong, brave, and loyal. We call these humans the first legends. We study your species and hope to find one like them. You fit the description." John frowned. "But I'm just me." "I have done nothing like that." Lyra smiled gently. "Actions are what matter. Your heart shows the same qualities. We can feel it." John did not know how to respond. He had always thought of himself as ordinary. Yes, he had traveled to many worlds, and yes, he had faced danger, but he had never imagined anyone would see him as a legend. Paul Adams, the human linguist, whispered to John, "Listen carefully. This is more than ceremony. They believe in humans deeply. What they call a legend is their truth. Your actions may soon test it." The aliens began to explain their culture. In their language, the word husband meant protector. It was not just about marriage, romance, or love. It was about loyalty, courage, and standing by someone no matter the danger. Lyra's choice of John was serious. She was asking him to take responsibility for her people's safety, even if he did not fully understand what might happen. John felt the weight of her words. The responsibility was enormous. He looked at Lyra. Her blue eyes were calm but bright. He realized she trusted him completely, without hesitation. He could not fail her, even if he was afraid. The day passed slowly as the aliens shared stories of their history. John learned that their ancestors had lived peacefully for thousands of cycles, but a violent species had once attacked their planet. Humans, arriving at that time, had defended them. They had fought with courage, cleverness, and determination. The aliens remembered humans not just for their strength but for their kindness, for protecting the weak. John thought about humanity's reputation. Humans were often feared across the galaxy, but here they were remembered as heroes. The aliens' stories filled him with both pride and pressure. Could he live up to this expectation? After lunch, Lyra took John to a training ground. It was open, with soft green grass and smooth stones. Some aliens moved gracefully, practicing defense techniques. Lyra explained that although humans were different, they could show protection in their own ways. "We want to see how you act in our ways," she said. "We do not know your methods, but strength and courage are universal." John watched carefully. He noticed that the aliens did not use weapons often. They relied on speed, strategy, and teamwork. Even small aliens could control larger opponents. John felt intrigued. If he learned their ways, he could combine them with human methods and perhaps protect them even better. He practiced with Coro, the young boy. At first, John felt awkward. Coro moved quickly, dodging every attempt John made to touch him. But soon, John started to understand the rhythm. He learned to anticipate movement and focus on balance. Lyra watched silently, occasionally giving small hints. "Good," she said finally. "You are learning. Your kind has power in thought and action. This is why we waited." John smiled. It felt good to learn, but also strange. He had never trained like this. Back on Earth, humans fought in different ways. Here, it was about precision, timing, and understanding each opponent. He realized he was gaining more than skill. He was gaining insight into their culture. As afternoon came, Lyra led John to a hall filled with glowing images. They showed humans from ancient stories, saving aliens and fighting for justice. John saw himself reflected in their actions, even though he had not lived them. The hall was like a library of memory, preserving deeds across cycles. John felt small and large at the same time. Small because he had done nothing yet, and large because humans had made such an impact across the stars. Lyra spoke softly. Humans are strong, but strength is not only in battle. It is in choice, in protection, in courage when afraid. We chose you because we see this in you already. John looked at her. But what if I fail? He asked. Her eyes softened. Then you try again. You will not be alone. We will help you, and your people are here too. Legends are not born perfect. They grow through action. John felt a strange calm. He realized she was right. Legends were not about being perfect. They were about courage, loyalty, and action. He thought of his human team, Captain Brown, Paul Adams, and others. They would stand with him if danger came. He could do this. He had to. The evening came and the aliens gathered to share food. John noticed how their meals glowed softly, changing color with flavor. He tasted a sweet, soft fruit that made him feel light and awake. Lyra sat beside him, talking quietly about her people's lives. She explained that humans were often misunderstood, but here, humans were heroes remembered across time. We waited a long time for someone like you, she said again. Not just for protection, but to remind us that kindness and courage still exist. John felt a deep responsibility. He wanted to live up to her trust. He also wanted to understand her better, not just as an alien or a legend, but as a person who believed in him. That night, as the three suns set, John sat with Lyra on the balcony again. The rivers glowed beneath them, reflecting the light of their city. He realized that he had entered a new world, not only in space but in understanding. Humans were known for strength, but here, strength meant more. It meant trust, courage, and loyalty. It meant being part of something bigger than himself. Tomorrow, I will meet more of your people, John said quietly. Lyra smiled. Yes, and tomorrow you will see why your choice matters. Our world is peaceful, but danger waits in the stars. Humans can protect, and perhaps you will show our people that legends still live. John took a deep breath. He felt ready, not because he knew everything, but because he understood his responsibility. He had been chosen, and he would rise to the challenge. He looked at Lyra, her eyes calm in the fading light. Thank you for trusting me, he said softly. It is not just trust, she replied. It is faith, and one day you will see why humans deserve both respect and legend. John felt a small smile. The path ahead was uncertain, but for the first time he felt confident in his place. He was not alone. He had Lyra, her people, and his human team. Together, they would face whatever came, and perhaps, he thought, this was just the beginning of a story that would be remembered across worlds. John Carter woke to a sound he had never heard before. A deep, low rumble filled the sky. He jumped up and looked out the window of the alien city. Clouds of dark smoke were rising from the distant hills. Lyra was already outside, watching the horizon with a calm face, but her body was tense. What is happening? John asked, his voice tight. Danger approaches, Lyra said softly. Our scouts see a hostile force. They come to take our resources. Your kind can help, John. Humans are strong and we need strength now. John's heart raced. He had never imagined that being chosen by an alien girl could lead to a real battle so soon. He ran to gather his human team. Captain Brown, Paul Adams, and the others were already assembling. We have a situation, John said. Aliens need our help. Something is attacking them. Captain Brown nodded. Prepare weapons and shields. We don't know their strength, but humans can make a difference. Let's move carefully and smartly. They followed Lyra to the city gates. Hundreds of aliens were gathering, some carrying defensive tools, others ready to use strategy and speed to protect their homes. John noticed their calm, disciplined way. Unlike humans, they did not panic, but their concern was clear. "Listen," Lyra said to John, "your ways are different but effective. Fight as humans fight, protect our people, show courage, and we will follow your lead." John nodded. He had faced many dangers before, but this felt heavier. This was not about himself or even just survival. It was about protecting an entire species, and somehow he felt that Lyra's faith in him made it more important than anything he had done before. The enemy arrived at sunset. Huge ships floated above the horizon, dark and sharp, moving like predators. Smaller crafts darted ahead, landing troops with mechanical armor. The aliens looked up, ready to defend, but they seemed hesitant against machines they had never seen. John took a deep breath. "Humans fight differently," he said. "We will combine your defense with our tactics. Trust me." He led a group of humans and some aliens toward the first enemy landing point. The enemy troops were strong, but John noticed that they moved without thinking, relying on brute force. He signaled his team, and together they moved swiftly, using strategy, cover, and coordinated attacks. Humans worked fast, thinking ahead. The aliens followed, learning and adapting. John faced a moment when a huge enemy machine advanced on Lyra. She froze, unsure of how to move fast enough. John ran forward, using his body to block the machine's path, while a teammate threw a device to disable it. The machine stopped, giving Lyra time to retreat. She looked at him, eyes wide, and then nodded, understanding the meaning of trust and protection. The aliens began to fight alongside humans more confidently. Lyra coordinated them, showing them weak points in the enemy formation. John realized that their combined efforts were powerful. Humans had strength and strategy, aliens had speed and precision. Together, they were unstoppable. Hours passed. The sun disappeared, leaving the city under the glow of alien lights and human devices. Explosions shook the ground, but John never stopped moving. He saved injured aliens, coordinated attacks, and pushed forward when needed. Each time he risked his life, the aliens watched and learned. They began to whisper among themselves that this human was indeed the chosen one. At one point, John saw Caro, the young alien boy, cornered by enemy troops. Without thinking, he ran, grabbed the boy, and pulled him to safety. Caro looked at him with wide eyes. You are brave," he said. John smiled, feeling exhausted but determined. "We protect each other," he said. Lyra fought beside him, fast and precise. She moved in ways humans could not, striking enemy troops with skill. Yet she looked at John often, as if to make sure he was safe. John realized that the bond she had chosen was not only about legend or story, it was about life and trust. She expected him to act, and he had. The battle reached a turning point when the enemy leader arrived. A huge figure in black armor, taller than any alien or human, with glowing red eyes. The enemy forces seemed stronger with him there. John gathered his courage and formed a strategy. He split the humans into groups, coordinated the aliens, and set traps using both technology and alien tactics. The enemy leader advanced, swinging a massive weapon. John dodged, signaling an alien team to strike. Together, they disabled his weapon and finally cornered him. Lyra struck the final blow, but John had drawn the enemy in the right position. Their combined effort defeated him. The remaining troops retreated, leaving the planet safe for now. John fell to his knees, breathing heavily. Around him, aliens cheered softly, some crying, others hugging each other. Lyra came to him and placed her hand on his shoulder. "You are strong, human," she said softly. "You protect not only me but all of us. This is why you were chosen." John looked around. The city was damaged but alive. Aliens were helping each other rebuild. Humans helped too, repairing machines and carrying supplies. John felt a strange pride, not for himself alone, but for all humans who had fought beside him. They had shown courage and kindness, and the aliens now understood what humans could do. That night, John sat with Lyra on a quiet hill overlooking the city. The stars were bright, and the glow from the battle below slowly faded. Lyra looked at him with her calm blue eyes. "You acted as our protector," she said. "This is more than legend, it is proof. Humans can be guardians, we believe in you." John felt his heart swell. He had always thought of humans as strong, but this was different. This was about trust, responsibility, and action. It was about standing up when others could not. He realized that being chosen by Lyra was not just honor, it was a duty, and he had lived up to it at least this time. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for trusting me." Lyra smiled. "We do not just trust, we observe. And now you have shown us humans are worthy." John felt tired but alive. The city was safe, the aliens were recovering, and he had proved in action that humans were more than stories. Legends could exist, not just in tales but in real life, through courage, loyalty, and protection. As they watched the stars together, John knew that this was only the beginning. Dangers might come again, and humans might be called to act in the future. But for now he felt a quiet peace. He had learned what it meant to be chosen, and he had accepted the challenge with all his heart. Lyra leaned closer. "Tomorrow you will rest, but soon you will learn more about our people. You are no longer only a visitor. You are part of our lives." John nodded. He understood that this bond, chosen by her, was deeper than he had imagined. It was about life, trust, and mutual respect. He had stepped into a legend, and now he had lived it. As he closed his eyes under the alien stars, he felt the weight of responsibility, but also the warmth of purpose. Humans were strong, yes, but courage guided by care made them something even greater. And on this world, he had become the protector, the human who stood with the aliens, proving that trust and action could change everything. The morning after the battle came quietly. The alien city was still alive, but signs of damage were everywhere. Buildings had cracks, streets were torn, and some of the glowing trees were broken. John Carter walked beside Lyra, taking in the scene. He had never seen a city like this under stress, and he felt a heavy responsibility. "So much destruction," John said softly. "I hope we can fix it," Lyra nodded. "We will. Our people are strong and united. Humans have shown us your strength. Now we must rebuild together." John spent the morning helping. Humans carried heavy stones, repaired broken machines, and worked alongside aliens who were lifting debris with precision. John noticed that the aliens were no longer hesitant around humans. They watched John with quiet respect, and many tried to follow his example. Humans had acted with courage yesterday, but now they showed care and patience. The aliens began to understand the meaning of human protection, not just in battle but in rebuilding. As John moved through the city, he saw Koro, the young boy he had saved in the fight. The boy was helping a group of smaller aliens move glowing fruit to the market. He looked at John and smiled. "You protected us yesterday," he said. "Today you help us live." John smiled back. "We protect each other," he said. "That is what matters." Lyra led him to a council hall where the elders of the city gathered. John was nervous. He had fought alongside them, but this was different. Here, decisions would be made that could affect the future of the city and his bond with Lyra. "John," Lyra said softly, "they want to speak with you. You have acted bravely, but now they wish to understand your heart. The bond is more than protection. It is about trust, choice, and life together." The council elders were tall and gentle, with glowing eyes. They spoke slowly, choosing words carefully. One of them, with silver skin, said, "Human John, you have acted as protector and warrior. We saw your courage and loyalty, but our bond is not just about battle. It is about understanding our ways, learning from us, and standing by us in peace. Do you accept this?" John took a deep breath. He thought of the battle, the destruction, and the way the aliens had looked at him with trust. He thought of Lyra, who had chosen him without hesitation. He realized that this was not a test of skill alone, but of heart. "I accept," he said quietly but firmly. "I will stand with you, not because I am perfect, but because I care." I will learn your ways and protect your people." The elders nodded. A soft light glowed around them and John felt warmth spread through him. Lyra stepped closer, smiling. "This is your choice," she said. "You chose freely and that makes the bond real." After the council meeting, John walked with Lyra through the city. The aliens were repairing houses, cleaning streets and planting new glowing trees. Humans worked with them, learning their methods. John felt proud not just for himself but for the cooperation between the species. This was part of the bond too, mutual respect and trust. "John," Lyra said, "we have waited for someone like you for a long time, not just to fight but to understand us. Now you see our lives. Tomorrow you will see even more. Our culture is vast and you will learn patience, care, and leadership." John nodded. He felt the weight of the promise but also the warmth of purpose. He had fought and protected, but now he understood that being a protector also meant learning, listening, and guiding. He felt a quiet determination grow inside him. That night, the city glowed softly under the stars. John and Lyra sat together near a restored fountain. The water floated in soft shapes before falling gently to the ground. John watched the glowing streams, thinking of the bond he had accepted. It was more than legend. It was now part of reality. "Do you regret it?" Lyra asked softly. "Choosing to be here, choosing to accept the bond," John shook his head. "No," he said. "I was scared, yes, but I also know that this is important. Not just for me, but for your people and for humans. We can show the galaxy what trust and courage mean." Lyra smiled. "We will watch and learn together. You are our protector, but also our friend. This is the first step." The next day, Lyra took John to meet families of her people. He saw young children, elders, and workers. He noticed that many were shy at first, but when he helped carry food, repair a structure, or simply smiled and spoke kindly, they began to warm to him. John realized that being a protector was also about kindness, not just strength. The aliens needed courage, yes, but they also needed care. He spent hours helping, teaching small strategies and learning their ways. He watched how they communicated with subtle gestures, how they helped each other without being asked, and how their trust in him grew with each action. John began to understand that legends were not just about deeds, but about heart and intention. In the evening, John and Lyra walked to a hill overlooking the repaired city. The suns were setting, giving the sky shades of pink and gold. John felt tired but satisfied. He had learned much, but he knew there was still more ahead. "Tomorrow," Lyra said, "we will show you our training grounds, our rituals, and the ways we honor protectors. You will see the bond in action, not just words. Your people will learn our ways and we will learn yours. Trust and respect will grow stronger." John nodded. "I understand. I will try my best. I want to be worthy of your trust." Lyra smiled softly. "You already are. Actions matter more than words. Yesterday you acted. Today you learn. Tomorrow you will grow even more." That night John sat alone for a while, thinking of everything. The battle, the rebuilding, the council, and the growing trust of the aliens. He realized that being chosen by Lyra was not a reward, but a responsibility. He had accepted it freely, and now he would live up to it. He had to, not for himself, but for the lives that depended on him. As he looked at the stars, John felt a quiet peace. Humans were often seen as strong and sometimes dangerous, but here, he realized, humans could also be symbols of hope, courage, and protection. He had shown this through action, and he would continue to do so, not because of legend, but because it was right. Lyra joined him again, her hand brushing lightly against his. "Rest now," she said. "Tomorrow you will continue to learn, continue to stand with us." "The bond is not finished, John. It grows with every choice you make." John nodded, closing his eyes. He felt ready for whatever came next. He knew that the path of trust and courage would not be easy, but he also knew that with Lyra and her people by his side, he could face it. Legends were not born from ease or comfort. They were born from action, responsibility, and heart. And on this world, John Carter was ready to grow into the protector he had been chosen to be. The city was calm now, bathed in the soft light of the twin suns. John Carter walked beside Lyra through the repaired streets, feeling a sense of quiet pride. The battle was over, the city was rebuilding, and the bond he had accepted was stronger than ever. Humans and aliens worked together, and John could see how trust had grown between them. "The city looks peaceful," John said. "I never imagined it could recover so quickly." Lyra smiled. "We are strong, but humans helped. Your actions showed our people that trust is real. This is why the bond matters, not only in danger but in life." John nodded. He had learned much about patience, care, and leadership in the last days. Protecting someone was not only about fighting, it was about listening, helping, and understanding. The aliens now looked at humans not just as warriors, but as allies and friends. John felt proud of that. That morning, the council gathered again. John and Lyra were invited to speak with them about the future. The elders had repaired their hall, and the atmosphere was calm but serious. John stepped forward, feeling a mix of nerves and confidence. "Humans have fought beside you," John began. "We have shown courage in battle, yes, but now we can also show care, help rebuild, and share knowledge. Together, we can make your world stronger, and humans will learn from you as well." The elders listened quietly. Sierra, the silver-skinned elder, nodded slowly. "Your words are wise, human John. Yesterday you protected us. Today you guide us. This is more than legend. It is proof that trust and courage exist in all your kind." Lyra took John's hand. "We have waited a long time for this moment. Humans are not only strong, but they are capable of understanding, helping, and respecting our ways. John, you have shown this, and now the bond is complete." John felt warmth spread through him. He looked at the aliens, young and old, and realized that being chosen by Lyra was no longer a private honor. It was a shared trust between species, a bridge built from courage, care, and action. After the meeting, John spent the day visiting families, teaching small skills and learning more about the aliens' daily life. He discovered how they cultivated glowing plants, built floating machines, and communicated with subtle gestures. He learned patience and observation, realizing that being a protector was more than strength, it was understanding. Lyra stayed close to him throughout the day. She explained cultural rituals, stories of their ancestors, and the meaning behind small customs. John listened, amazed at the depth of their history. He realized that accepting the bond was not only about defending them, but also about embracing their culture and learning from it. That evening, a celebration was held in the city square. The aliens decorated with floating lights, and humans helped carry food and gifts. Music filled the air, soft and melodic, creating a feeling of harmony between species. John felt a joy he had never known. The city had survived danger, rebuilt itself, and now celebrated life. Humans and aliens stood together, united by trust and action. Lyra came to John and took his hand. "This is our way of showing gratitude," she said. "But also it is a way to honor you, the protector. You are more than legend now. You are part of our lives." John smiled. "I never imagined this," he said. "I thought being chosen meant responsibility, danger, maybe fear. But now I see it also means hope, friendship, and learning." They walked through the square together, and John saw children playing, humans laughing with aliens, and elders watching with calm pride. He realized that courage was not only in battle. It was in every choice to help, protect, and respect others. Humans had shown it in action, and the aliens now saw them in a new light. Later, John and Lyra stood on a balcony overlooking the city. The stars appeared in the darkening sky, bright and steady. John felt a sense of peace. He had accepted the bond freely, faced danger, helped rebuild, and now shared trust and understanding. He knew that life with this responsibility would not always be easy, but it would be meaningful. "John," Lyra said softly, "our people will tell stories about you." but not only about bravery in battle, about trust, kindness, and courage of the heart. This is what humans bring to the galaxy. This is what you have shown us. John felt a quiet pride. He realized that humans could be remembered not only for strength but for their heart. Legends were built from both, and now he was part of that living story. The next day, humans prepared to leave for their ship, but John chose to stay a little longer. He wanted to continue learning, helping, and sharing life with the aliens. Lyra walked with him to the edge of the city. "Will you stay?" she asked. "Yes," John said firmly. "Not because I have to, but because I want to. I see the trust in your people and I want to be worthy. Together we can face whatever comes." Lyra smiled. She took his hand and held it gently. "Then the bond is real, not just words, but action and choice. You are our protector, friend, and legend, John Carter." John looked around. The city was alive, peaceful, and bright. Humans had shown courage. Aliens had shown trust. Together, they had built something stronger than any legend alone. John felt a sense of purpose, knowing that he had played a part in this story, and that the bond he accepted would guide the future. As he stood with Lyra, he realized that the galaxy would remember this. Humans were not only warriors or conquerors. They could protect, care, and create trust across worlds. And here, on this distant planet, John Carter had done exactly that. The suns rose again the next morning, bathing the city in warm light. John and Lyra watched the rivers shimmer, children play, and elders smile. He knew that the story would continue, that life would bring new challenges, but he also knew that trust, courage, and action would always carry them forward. John took a deep breath. He had begun as a visitor, uncertain and nervous. Now he was part of a living bond, chosen and accepted, protector and friend, human and legend. The galaxy might be dangerous, but he had learned that strength, care, and trust could overcome fear. Lyra squeezed his hand. "Together," she said. "Always." John smiled, looking at the city, the people, and the stars. "Always," he echoed. He felt ready for whatever came next. Together, humans and aliens could face the universe with courage, kindness, and trust. The legend was no longer a story. It was real, living, and stronger than anything he had imagined. And in that quiet moment, John Carter understood fully what it meant to be chosen. It was not about glory, power, or fame. It was about heart, action, and life. He had accepted, he had acted, and he had grown. The bond was complete, the city was safe. The aliens trusted him, and humanity had shown its best face to the stars. He looked at Lyra once more, her calm eyes shining. "We did it," he said softly. "Yes," she said, smiling. "We did it together." John felt a quiet joy. The bond, the city, the people, and the trust, they were all part of something greater than any legend. He had stepped into a story, and now he lived it fully, with courage, care, and heart.